Welcome to my channel. This is the Diamond Chrysalis, aka Divested Diamonds. This is divestment with purpose, and you have arrived. Greetings and salutations, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for being here today. Please do me a favor and click the like button as you watch this video. Thank you kindly. In today's premiere, we're going to talk about Sexy Red and why some Black women are a stain on the majority of Black women's reputation. Unlike most women, we don't have the luxury of being judged on an individual basis. Now, this is not the first time we're having this conversation on this channel, but I have noticed that the few times we've discussed this, there will be one or two women who show up in the comments section to let me know this is not their reality and how they get treated well, essentially separating themselves from the masses. And that's fine. That's not a problem. When we speak on such issues, our experiences will vary. That is true. However, there is a common theme based on how we're viewed as a collective, how we're treated outside of quote-unquote Blackness, that at some point in time, you will get to experience as a Black woman. Black women generally aren't respected. On a micro level, sure. On a larger scale, we're not. This has been done by design, and part of our impediment lies with our proximity to Black men. But that's an entire video for another day. The truth of the matter is, we are viewed unfavorably because other people can't be bothered to get to know or even try to understand who we are as sun-kissed, melanated women. It's easy for other races of people to ignore us and feed into the stereotypes because, as far as they're concerned, we are not their problem. You and I both know that their perception of who they think we are is based on ignorance, a lack of understanding and education into who we are as a group of women. Look, if it doesn't affect them directly, why would they care? That is the core of what I mean when I say that we do not possess the luxury of being judged as individuals. A lot of it is built off of ignorance and the lack of care for who we are. With all the money that Oprah Winfrey has, she still couldn't escape the curse of the melanated woman during her shopping experience in Switzerland, when a store worker assumed that she couldn't afford a high-end designer bag. Serena Williams' recent experience at a French restaurant further proves that no matter how accomplished we are as Black women, there are people, entities out there that are so desperate to bring us down a peg or two as a reminder of what the world really thinks of us. It doesn't matter that she's married to a white man. His privilege is his own. It doesn't erase how she is viewed by society and the world at large, especially in spaces of exclusivity. Her story went viral last month in August when she showed up at a French restaurant only to be denied a table. She had her kids with her, and her husband was present. She took to X, or Twitter, to express her disappointment. And this is what she had to say. Yikes, at Peninsula Paris. I've been denied access to rooftop to eat in an empty restaurant of nicer places, but never with my kids. Always a first. Hashtag Olympic 2024. And of course, once this went viral, the restaurant responded and said, "Dear Mrs. Williams," I'll stop it right here because everything after Mrs. Williams is irrelevant. This is the disrespect that I'm talking about. Whoever was in charge of writing this so-called apology didn't even bother to address her correctly. Mrs. Williams would be her mother, right? She is Mrs. Ohanian, professionally known as Serena Williams. She should have been addressed as Ms. Williams. Ms. is a general term that does not indicate marital status, but is still feminine. Calling Serena Mrs. Williams as though she were married to her dad is not only wild, but highly dismissive and disrespectful. It shows a lack of regard, a lack of respect. Anyway, the hotel restaurant claimed that they were fully booked and the empty seats that Ms. Williams had seen were all reserved prior to her arrival. So they quote unquote apologized and said that she was welcome there anytime. According to Celebrity Net Worth and Forbes, this woman's net worth is between $300 to $340 million. Just thought I'd point that out. Let's continue. Let's get back to Sexyy Red. Sadly, the actions of a few have a way of infiltrating other people's minds and poisoning their perception of who we really are. The actions of a few have a way of overshadowing the progress that Black women have made overall. No one I know personally looks or behaves like Sexyy Red. And I'm sure that's the case for a lot of you ladies. Yet, the world has a way of painting us all in this manner. The journey that the Black woman has taken to the peak of constant ridicule and constant degradation is one that's been going on for hundreds of years. The reason we're unable to shake it off is because it's constantly being reinforced by the powers that be, and they do so through those who look like us. There are Black people out there who will prostitute themselves on Degradation Avenue for clicks, views, likes, and clout, to the detriment of the Black female majority. And honestly, they don't care. They do not give a rat's ass about it. One such Black woman is Sexyy Red. Janae Weary, professionally known as Sexyy Red, rose to prominence with the release of her 2023 single, Pound Town. The song's lyrics, which include the following: "I'm out of town, thugging with my rounds, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown, where are the N-words? I'm looking for the hoes, quit playing N-word, come suck a bitch toes." Well, left much to be desired. From her lyrics to her presentation and stereotypical ghetto behavior, it's easy to see how women like her further reinforce unwanted Blackistani stereotypes that, quite frankly, Black women could do without. Sexyy Red has been accused by many of being an industry plant who was being pushed through the algorithm for the purpose of further tarnishing the Black woman's image. Is there any truth to that? Well, it seems highly likely. Why would someone who can neither sing nor rap be pushed to the top as much as she has? Big Sexy, as she calls herself, quite seamlessly falls into the category of people who are always ready and willing to sell their souls for money and clout, without a care about the reputation of women who look like her. Others have applauded her for being raw, open, and honest about her life's experiences and generally how she chooses to live her life. Like the time she did an interview and revealed the fact that she had contracted an STD twice, but said it with such glee as if it were nothing. Let's take a listen to the following.
Craziest thing I ever said in the song is a lyric I said, damn, this nigga burn me pussy smoking like a seed.
What the fuck?
It's real life. They
This
act like
charge
this
is real.
shit is not going on in the world.
Yeah.
Right, but women, like,
It's the no sugarcoating anything
That's
about
right.
anything about nothing for me. Like, I love it. The realness.
That's how it
is
gotta
just-
be. That's the truth.
that's what I want to be when I grow up.
Let's go.
Free.
So
No,
free
that's
like
how I
that.
am.
Like,
Yeah.
Remember
I
old Johnny
can't
Bassett? He
hide
was
it.
like, I got burnt by gonorrhea twice.
No, I ain't
Free.
never had. I had chlamydia before though twice.
Okay.
but
I
I ain't
mean,
never
it's-
had.
That's the most pretty common.
Yeah, very common.
This what happened. Me and my nigga was together,
Mhm.
and we broke up because he was cheating on me. So then we broke up. Then I went and did me. Then he
shit.
did him, and then
Y'all
we
got back
missed
together.
each other, came back
And
together.
something wasn't right.
We both was like, "What the fuck is this smell?"
Oh, shit.
I'm like, ugh, what's going on? So
Did y'all
then
go
we
to the
both
doctor
went to
together?
the doctor. Yeah, went to the doctor
Yeah.
together.
And
And then we both was like, well, you fuck two people. And he like, you fuck two people too. I'm like, well, we don't know who did it. We
Damn.
still don't know
Did y'all
who
call
did
the people that y'all was with and let them know that something wasn't right?
I think I know who did it. But I'm going to blame my baby daddy though.
yeah, blame him.
You gonna take this charge?
Yeah.
As Black women, most of us can factually say she doesn't represent any of us. And we know that to be true because we'd never be caught dead behaving this way. The outside world and those who are ignorant to how we exist as Black women in America see the complete opposite. They don't care that women like Sexy Red aren't the face of Black American womanhood. They want her to be. They choose to believe she is because it's not their reputation on the line. They, just like us, are bombarded with images of women like her, images we've never asked for, images of over-sexualized Black women whose behavior we're expected to accept simply because they look like us. FYI, there are those of us who don't support this and never will. Can we blame other people for buying into this false narrative when this is all that's being sold to them? Is it fair that we have foreign entities responsible for pushing such degeneracy on our behalf? No. How strong are we as Black women at pushing back? And are we capable of steering things in a better direction? I've mentioned in previous videos how it's important for us as Black women to separate ourselves from such deplorable people and behavior in order to carve out a new and improved image. The one thing we do have against us is this idea that every individual is allowed to live their life in their own individual truth, no matter how wretched their life is. There are so many things wrong with this mindset. The problem with not having standards is once you get into the habit of accepting any and everything as okay, you blur the lines between right and wrong, good and bad, and everything goes. After everything's been said and done, these things matter. Here's the thing. A society with no standards, no boundaries, is one that's in free fall, and it leaves the door open for dangerous behavior, dangerous practices, and more debauchery. The reason we have laws is to prevent certain things from happening, things that can harm us as human beings on a small or larger scale. And while these laws don't completely shield us from danger, it's always in the back of the perpetrator's mind that once caught, consequences are imminent. Never underestimate the psychology of boundaries. Yes, people can cross them, but there's always a price to pay. The same should be the case for people who lack any morality. There has to be consequences for certain behaviors, and shame needs to be brought back in order to show some of these individuals that degeneracy isn't something anyone should be comfortable with. It's not something to aspire to. A lot of Blakistani dwellers really are like wild animals, and a lot of them are so morally bankrupt that they are ready and willing to support anything to get that dopamine hit. Sexy Red is one of those people. She's a wretched, uncouth, uncultured, low-functioning, bottom-of-the-barrel individual who lacks shame and will do anything for money. Her recent lip gloss line was just as disgusting as you'd expect, promoting rancid sex and STDs, shameless as always. Let's take a listen to the following.
I got a lip gloss brand, and the names for my lip gloss is something that nobody would have ever thought of. I got one called Nut, and it's the color of some nut. I got one called Gonorrhea. It's green like gonorrhea. I got one called Yellow Discharge, like how girls be having yellow discharge. Booty hole pink, booty hole brown, coochie juice. And coochie juice is clear with silver glitter. It's cute, like the cute, and it smells good. And it's so, like, you know, people gonna talk shit, but other people was like, you is a marketing genius, because the sold so fast. And it smell good too. I be thinking of all out the box. It's not even on purpose. It's just like my brain helped me think outside the box to do some crazy shit.
Absolutely disgusting. This is the same individual who, back in April, was supposed to speak at a school full of children, but wasn't allowed in because she smelled like weed. My issue with that entire situation wasn't the assertion that she smelled like weed. What adults choose to do to ruin their lives is their business. If you like it, I love it. My issue is that she was invited to speak to children at a school in the first place. As far as I know, she's not a scholar. She's not an educator, nor is she an intellect of any kind. Who in their right mind thought it was a good idea to invite this woman to any school? And what does she have to say that is so important or life-changing to any of these kids? She's not a positive role model for anyone, let alone kids. Listen, if your child's future consists of an underage baby mama whose job is to stand on a street corner, waiting for street meat, or swinging on a pole and shaking ass for money, then pardon my ignorance. She very well may be the right mentor. The real question is, why is she being heavily pushed and somewhat marketed towards children? I can also guarantee that that school was predominantly a black one. Shocker! This is why a lot of your kids can't read or write. Look at the garbage they're being exposed to. Let's watch the following.
Nobody called the police.
So look, so this school put me, I came up here, got you, try to talk to the kids, get in the water today, they gonna put me on me. Tell me I smell like weed, watch this. He gonna try to get mad. Fuck that old man. Bitch, you're nobody.
Bitch, you like I'm finna sit with your
They ain't come to see you, Otis.
Otis?
Bitch. You heard who they screaming for. Hiya. Bro, me poke my head up.
They put us out.
It's really become a sickness for a lot of these internet personalities. The idea of pushing extreme boundaries and exposing themselves to the public in ways that are not only indecent, but lack substance, leaving nothing to the imagination, is absolutely disgusting. A while ago, there was a video that went viral of a group of kids dancing, singing, and seemingly twerking to Sexy Red's music. Is that supposed to be normal? I mean, you could tell that these children's parents were the types of people who pretty much have the same mindset as Sexy Red. That footage was no doubt filmed by an adult. Is that supposed to be okay? Poor children. No wonder a lot of them are lost. Is anyone concerned about these kids? It's really a shame that such people exist. But this is what a non-monolithic existence exemplifies. Behavioral uniformity is not a part of it. I'll bet those children swear like sailors. Why are kids being exposed to such nonsense? And you wonder why little black girls are over-sexualized at a young age? I think it's safe to say that when it comes to this mass negativity towards our image and reputation, we've had a lot of help from those who wish to see black women perpetually at the bottom. With that said, it also doesn't mean that some black women aren't willing participants in this degeneracy, because they are. Even politically, the fact that Kamala Harris deemed it appropriate to have Megan Thee Stallion perform at such an event showed how little respect and effort a lot of these people feel they have to put in order to attract or bring in the black vote. It pains me to have to say this, but we're not viewed as smart enough to make informed decisions. The fact that they believe entertainment is the only thing our brains respond to, rather than policy, speaks volumes to the level of disrespect they keep dishing out. There are so many black scholars, intellects, movers and shakers they could have called upon, but didn't. Ask yourselves why that is. Instead, Kamala and her people decided to entertain a twerking rapper, knowing she didn't have to impress black people the way she would everyone else. They would never do this to any other demographic, but they do this to black people because they realize the liberties they can take due to a lack of consequences. They literally think we're stupid. They think we're a joke. Why would they not, if the agenda is always geared towards making us look slow, with low IQ? Part of it, unfortunately, is because a lot of black people are so easily impressed. We are more than ass shaking. We are more than low vibrational music. They are able to do this because they have no respect for us at all. Now, you can laugh at her for washing her greens in the bathtub, like she said, but she still won't respect you.
I have a friend who had a Christmas party, Christmas Eve every year, and she asked me to make the greens for a party every year. And I am not lying to you that I would make so many greens that I'd need to wash them in the bathtub. I'm telling you the truth.
So how do you make your greens? Do you put turkey in them? Do you
Bacon.
Put nice. My grandma
I
used
do
to
bacon.
Put bacon. She's put
Garlic.
vinegar.
I put white vinegar.
Yes.
So I start with, I slice up my garlic. But no, first I chop up the bacon
fry it.
and get all that fat going. Then I put garlic,
Yeah.
some chili peppers,
Yes.
and then a lot of water and a little chicken stock, and I let it go for a while
Flowers.
before I put the greens in. And then, right, so you get that going and all that flavor, and then I put the greens in for a couple hours. Then I do vinegar, and then I cheat and do a little Tabasco.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
My
but
grandmother-
Tabasco of all, like I like Louisiana hot sauce,
Yeah.
but Tabasco has that right amount of
The
vinegar.
tang
Yeah,
on it, yeah.
and that's how I do my greens.
I see why you get invited every year.
This is what they think black women are good for, making them go viral, helping them raise money, and shaking ass. I guess Megan was the safer option to Sukiana, who probably would have spread eagle to show you her birth canal. She must have been busy that day. I mean, if you're going to further destroy a group's reputation and image, why not go all out? She might as well have had all three of them out there. Megan, Sukiana, and Sexy Red. It would have been ass for days, splashing booty sweat and soaked up thongs. The perfect twerk fest. And to those of you who are somewhat confused because I've supported Megan in community posts, let me ease your confusion. I've supported Megan every time she's been attacked by a man because I don't like that. As I've mentioned before, I'm female first, and everything else comes after. Now, that doesn't mean that I support her presentation as a black woman. I can separate the two. I don't dislike her. I think she's very beautiful. I also think she's very talented. I also believe she can do better. You know, one's talents must never be hinged upon prancing around barely clothed and making a spectacle of oneself. With that said, I don't think it's very manly for so-called men to attack women, no matter the circumstance. I certainly wouldn't stand idly by and watch a man bully a woman and not say anything about it. Tory Lanez is trash for what he did to her, and so is Eminem for mocking what happened to her. None of that nonsense was funny. Besides that, the constant twerking is a bad look. The nakedness or barely there clothing is wild and unnecessary. Now look, I do understand she's a performer and sex sells, but I don't need to see your butt crack every time you're on screen. Moving forward, I think black women will need to speak loudly and specifically about the type of representation we'd like to see, because this is not working. It's dangerous, it's degrading, it's unflattering. We need to stop other people's trauma from representing us. And you see, it wouldn't be much of an issue if they kept this behavior under wraps. But sadly, they keep pushing this sewer mentality, this degenerate behavior mainstream, and covering us all with shit. There are those of us who won't stand for it. Sadly, the ghetto representation tends to eclipse those of us who want nothing to do with this image. These women don't speak for us, and we don't have to support them. People like Sexy Red contribute nothing to the advancement of black women. She's only relevant to those who see an opportunity to make money off of her. And let me just say this. Not all people who come from the hood behave this way. So we cannot punish or paint everyone with the same brush based on where they're from. With that said, there's a level of forced acceptance for debaucherous behavior when it comes to hood rats. Heck, we aren't even allowed to question or oppose the promotion of sex workers without being labeled judgmental. We're expected to be understanding and sympathetic to their dire circumstances, their lack of opportunities, and poor upbringing. But here's the thing. There are those who want to get out of these circumstances and do better for themselves, respectfully. And then there are those who don't want to do better because they've turned their entire Blackistani experience into their personality and are very proud of it. What we can do is continue to reject these types and making it clear to the rest of the world that they don't speak for or represent the collective of black women. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. We don't have to accept or tolerate the type of behavior that continues to ruin our image and eat away at our reputation. We are better than this. Additionally, being a passive individualist isn't going to help our situation, ladies. It isn't going to change the current narrative when it comes to our image and reputation. We need to speak up and speak out on behaviors that paint a grim picture of who we are. Call it whatever you want. Respectability politics, or whatever excuse you may have for wanting to uphold such trash. Nothing will change if we don't actively separate and condemn these types of women and their low-grade behavior. We can't keep making exceptions or excuses for those who choose to operate from a place of brokenness. At some point, we're all just going to have to accept the fact that there are some Black women out there who simply don't want to do better, and they have to be left behind. But hey, good luck to them. In the midst of having to separate ourselves, we have to find a way to make a clear demarcation between them and us. And we need to do it repeatedly until it becomes the norm. Until people understand that we're not all in support of toxic, subpar, whorish behavior. On that note, what are your thoughts on what's been discussed here today? Please leave your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, ladies, forging a new identity for us may take some time, but it's not impossible. There are communities of non-Black people, especially in the music industry, who benefit from the degenerate behavior of their Black artists at the expense of Black women. We know who these people are. They've told us why they do it and still have no shame about it.
Really rough, particularly on women. But I think it helped change the course of the crack epidemic. I don't know what's this opioid thing, man.
But being a crackhead wasn't cool back then. Being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now they seem like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
But I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
Who's Dame Dash? You brought him up. I don't even know him. So you bring his name up. I don't even know him. So
y'all made a lot of money together.
Made a lot of
money.
Come
on, Leo. Don't do that to him.
I don't know him. I really don't. So, I don't know what to tell you.
What's that popular saying? Oh, it's nothing personal. It's just business. I implore each and every one of you to make mental notes. And please make sure not to fund their businesses or any other money-making ventures they may have. It's an insult to the Black female collective that these same people will keep their communities free of such nonsense, but expect you to buy tickets to performances that exhibit your own demise. Remember, Black women have no friends. Keep mental notes and move accordingly. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Diamond Chrysalis. You've been watching Divestment with Purpose. Divest from Blackistan. Divest from wolves in sheep's clothing. Divest like a butterfly, and I'll see you next time. Bye, diamonds.